Welcome to No Huddle Rodeo. It is July 15th, and today we are talking some new number ones in Calgary, the top team in the first weekend of PBR teams action, and how one of the best bucking horses, maybe ever, did it again in Wyoming. It's all coming up on No Huddle Rodeo. So let's start with Calgary, which is the second highest paying rodeo in the PRCA. And of course, with that, it brought us two new number ones. Shad Mayfield in the tie-down roping, Wacey Shala in the bull riding, both guys who have experience being number one. And I want to take a second and talk about what does it even mean to be number one in the world? Of course, yes, obviously, you have made more money than anyone else in your event. Of course, that comes with it. But more than anything, I'm thinking about the Herb Brooks quote in Miracle. It's not about the best players. It's about the right players. And in this instance, it's not about winning the most rodeos. It's about winning the right rodeos. Because let's look at Shad Mayfield, for example. He trailed Riley Webb by $24,000 on July 1st and then gave a heck of an effort over the 4th of July run, over Cowboy Christmas. He was the second highest money earner behind Riley Webb. So Riley extended his lead. So Riley outperformed him over a couple weeks stretch in order to get to number one on July 1st, and then was better by a little bit over a pivotal stretch of the season over the 4th of July. But Shad Mayfield wins Calgary. Shad Mayfield wins 50,000 plus toward the world standings. So everything Riley did, it's not for naught, but it doesn't matter because Shad won the bigger rodeo down the stretch. And the paycheck doesn't reflect. There's nothing that says, hey, Calgary Stampede pays 40 grand toward the world standings. That's like winning 4 rodeos. There's nothing that says that. It's just the one rodeo. And so now Shad Mayfield leads Riley Webb in the world standings deservingly by $3,000 because that's how the money has shaken out. And Riley, just like Shad, had every opportunity in Calgary. And just to talk about the razor thin margins that we have here, Shad tied for the last spot to get into the showdown in Calgary with a 7-flat run. Riley was 7-1 and was in the crying hole. He was the first guy out. So he had no opportunity to win the money. And then Shad's 6-8 and he goes and takes the money. But just what if either of them, one's a 10th faster, one's a 10th slower? That's a $40,000 difference. And now there's a whole new guy in the driver's seat, the same guy who was in the driver's seat for the entire regular season last year, basically. Then you look at Wacey Shala, same type of deal. Stetson Wright, after June 19th, has 7 rides of 90 or more points. Wacey Shala does not have any. Stetson's ridden 16 bulls since June 19th. Wacey has ridden 8. But the big but again, none of that matters because Wacey Shala was the only guy who rode in Calgary in the short round. So his 86-point ride, his 186-point ride is worth pretty dang close to all of Stetson's 90-point rides combined. And yes, with that one, you can say, should Stetson have been invited? Should he not have been invited? I don't know. I don't make those rules. I don't make those determinations. But what I do know is Wacey Shala was number one for most of the season. And then he went out and reclaimed his spot at the biggest rodeo of the summer in just one single ride. And so again, through all of that, has Stetson ridden more bulls than Wacey Shala in the summer run? Yes. Yes, he's ridden twice as many. But when you count up all the money at the end of the season, at the end of the regular season, at the end of the NFR, all that matters is who has the most. And just when it looked like Stetson Wright, who had opened up a lead of over $30,000 on Wesley Shala, just when you thought that he was going to run away to another world title, no. Wesley's got the right bull, the right time, and he takes advantage of it. And now he is back to number one in the world. So I say all of this to say, yes, I'm one of the people doing it, speculating what's going to happen, who's going to be number one, how does this impact the NFR, who's hot, who's not. All that matters is not who's hot, who's not for the entire season. It's who's hot and who's not at the right time, who's hot and who's not at the highest paying rodeos, at your Houstons, at your Calgarys, at your Cheyennes coming up this weekend, at Salinas perhaps, at Salt Lake City, at Ogden and Spanish Fork coming up down the stretch. You could win every other rodeo for the rest of the month of July. But if you go over at Salinas, Cheyenne, Salt Lake City, people are going to catch you because there is more money there. That's where the best stock is, the best guys in. That's where all the chips are on the table. The NFR is the same way. It's a lot like Calgary. It does not matter how much you come in with at the NFR. All that matters is basically who has their best stuff in Las Vegas. And who has their best stuff in Calgary? Now, two people who are back to number one in the world standings, thanks to one good weekend, one good ride in Wesley Shala's case. Just as a disclaimer, we'll be covering PBR teams throughout the summer on No Huddle Rodeo, on the Morning Kick, on all of our platforms. And so want to talk about the team of the weekend. The only undefeated team through weekend one in Oklahoma City is the Kansas City Outlaws. They were 19-9 a year ago. They had the best regular season record in the PBR a year ago. And they opened things up. They beat New York, the Mavericks, 163-0. Then they rode 4 to beat the Rattlers, 352-264. 7 of 10 overall for both teams in that game. Highest scoring game of the weekend. The Outlaws needed all 4 to do it. They got all 4 there. And then they finish it off with their rival, their border battle rival, the Missouri Thunder. They rode 3 there, 260.5-174. They rode 3 to the Thunder's 2. And it was simple for them. They rode a ton of bulls. They rode 9 of 15 bulls. And so when you stack it all up at the end of the weekend, you ride 60%. You have 3 guys ride multiple bulls, the only team to have multiple guys ride multiple bulls, and you've got 3 of them. It's a good recipe for success. And J.W. Hart, their coach, said it himself, there's still stuff to clean up. But as he said, plenty to build on for the Outlaws as the league's only undefeated team. Still a long way to go because there's 35 games this year instead of 28. But they tied for the most bulls ridden with 9. They tied with the Rattlers. 6 teams have a winning record in the PBR. 5 are 2-1, but the Outlaws the only one, like I said, who are 3-0. And you look up and down, and they got contributions from everyone, which is all you can ask for. Casio Diaz back healthy. All you can ask for. So who had the best start of the weekend? It's either the Outlaws or the Rattlers because they both rode 9 bulls. They both had over 775 points. The Rattlers 784 points total, but when it was in the arena against each other, the Outlaws have the better of the Rattlers so far with that 352-264 win there. We got Last Cowboy Standing coming up next weekend before we head to a neutral site in Duluth, Georgia. So stay with us for everything coming there. I'm really excited for all things PBR teams to break that down as well. And lastly, there are a lot of great horses, bucking horses in our game. But right now, in the saddle bronc riding and maybe across all events, I'm not sure there is one any better than the black tie. They won Pendleton on that horse last year. They won Salt Lake City on that horse. There was a 90 in Cheyenne on that horse, a 90 and a half from Zeke Thurston in Fort Worth. 91 and a half. They won the Sheridan Wild Rodeo on that horse. But somehow in 2025, the black tie has gotten even better. On 6 outs, Statler Wright, 91 and a half. Shea Fournier, 92. Darcy Radel, 88 and a half. Tucker Bordette, 87. Cash Wilson wins St. Paul with 91. And over the weekend, I saw the Instagram post from Sankey Pro Rodeo Phenom Genetics. They teased it. They said Damian Brennan versus the black tie in Sheridan. How many points is it going to be? I had no idea how many points, but I could have told you I would have been willing to bet any amount of money. If Damian Brennan makes the whistle, is he going to win this rodeo because he has the black tie, because he's one of the best bronc riders in the world? The answer is yes. And the black tie is now one of a handful of horses. And again, maybe better than all of them, where if you have an NFR guy who has that horse, they are going to win the round. They are going to probably win the rodeo. They are going to be 88, 89, 90 points, because this year they are more likely to be over 90 than be in the 80s. 4 90-point rides on these 6 outs for that horse this year. Just incredible, and something to watch for when the NFR comes around. Who will draw that horse at the crucial moment and take advantage of it? Because like I said, at this point, I'm pretty dang sure that if you're in the top 10 and you do your job, and if you're Damian Brennan and do it to the tune of 48 points for his score, then you're going to make a lot of money riding that horse, just like everyone who has gotten on the black tie this year. There's been, over the last 2 years, again, I'm not sure rodeo in and rodeo out if there's been any better horse than that one of Sankey Pro Rodeo and Phenom Genetics. That concludes this episode of No Huddle Rodeo. Thank you to Justin Boots. Thank you to Runyon's Fine Furniture. Thank you to everyone who watched. If you like this, please like and subscribe. If you would like to watch the morning kick, where we make the case for Zeke Thurston to be one of the best bronc riders of all time this morning, you can tune into that on our YouTube channel as well. Subscribe to it all to get it straight to you every single time. Remember, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we got the morning kick every morning. No Huddle Rodeo in the afternoons, and we are continuing to bring it to you all summer long here on US Cowboy. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow.